What is up, and happy Wednesday. Today, friends, we are going to talk about are the kids in the car. Do you hear me? Are the kids in the car? So, last year I was on this walkthrough with Allison Leslie, the CAO of Compass Community Schools. Shout out to y'all. Much love. So, she told me the story about this one time. She was with her dad. They stopped at a gas station. She and her dad go inside of the store. Dad returns back to the car. And either if I mess this story up, Allie, you can get me. But I believe she said either he drove off or he was about to drive off. And he looked in the back seat and he realized, wait a minute, she is not in the vehicle. So he goes back inside the store and he realized that she was over there. She was organizing some screws, some nuts, and some bolts over there behind the counter. That's what she was at. But he thought she was in the vehicle. Like, he literally thought she was in the car. So what am I talking about here, guys? I'm talking about checks for understanding. Are the kids in the vehicle? Are you with me? Oftentimes, I know when I was a teacher, I remember I used to have these lessons. I'm up there teaching like my hair on fire. Like, you can see the steam like coming up from my head. I'm up there, I'm sweating teaching. And then I get to the end of class. Like, has this ever happened to you? Comment down below. If you've been in class and you thought you were teaching like your hair on fire and you got to the end of class, you looked at your exit tickets and they didn't understand. It was like, oh, 2 out of 35 students understood today. And you almost ask yourself, you say, were we having the same conversation? Like, were we in the same class? Almost like, I don't know if you ever watched Men in Black. You know how they hold the little thing up, you know, that they like, beam, and it's just like you just forget all the information. I said, what happened here? You know? Well, what happened in those lessons was I did not check to see if the kids were in the vehicle. They were in the car. They say a good driver checks their rearview mirror, every 2 to 3 minutes. So as we move throughout our lessons, we want to continue to check and say, like, hey, are you still back there? You still back there? Because we can look in the back and we can say to the kids, be like, y'all still back there, you know, and so they still got their seatbelt on, but they not really in the vehicle, like they're not with us. Because we could say, oh, does everybody understand? And what is normal? What a kid's gonna say if we say, does everybody understand? They're gonna say, yeah, Miss Fitzgerald, I got you. But that isn't really evidence of what my students actually know. So we want to continue to check consistently as we go through the lesson and say, wait, you still with me? You still with me? Because if not, you know, what can happen, just like in my lessons, I get to the end, it was like Men in Black. They didn't remember. They didn't know because they didn't understand, right? So as we think about checks for understanding, a few things. Number one, you want to think about what's my objective? What's my destination? Where am I going? Because if I'm going to Paris, then I need to know what those checkpoints, like those checkpoints throughout the lesson. So thinking about what's your destination. Secondly, I would say, when am I going to check? Like, when are those points? When are those checkpoints? Like, is it going to be after problem 2? Is it going to be after problem 3? Like, is it going to be right? Like, what's this spot that I'm going to check? And then thirdly, I'd say, what am I checking? Like, what am I looking for? If I'm going to this destination, what are the things I'm going to be looking for? What mastery am I going to be looking for as I progress throughout the lesson? And then lastly, I'd say, how? Like, how are you going to check it? Are you going to do a turn and talk? Like, are you going to walk around and listen to what the kid's saying? Are you going to gather evidence of what they actually know? Like, what is that way in which you're going to do that? So my jam was, I love the whiteboards. That would have bomb.com. Because I remember I used to ask the kids, I'd be like, I used to just go look part of the equation one by one, and they just, people just shout out 2 and 3 people. It'd be like 2, the same people answering. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get a whiteboard so I can see what it is that you actually know. And then as we think about the last part of that, thinking about those adjustments. Like, what adjustment I make when the kids are not in the vehicle, when I'm driving down the car and they're like, I am in the desert, Miss Fitzgerald. I am no longer in the vehicle. What adjustments am I going to make? And a way to do that is just think about, as you plan those checks for understanding, anticipating those misconceptions. So, friends, to close it out, are the kids in the car? Checks for understanding. Are the kids in the car? And I'm out.